Hi, if you're just a little bit familiar with my channel, you might have seen me reread or read series such as Percy Jackson, the Poppy War series, Hunger Games, and today I want to welcome you to me rereading Six of Crows and the Crooked Kingdom. I honestly don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I actually do know why I'm doing this myself. First of all, I want to get back into reading because I was slacking the summer and I want to read something that is comfortable, that I know, and that will rip me to pieces, maybe. And also, if you don't know Six of Crows yet, maybe this can be a motivation to finally read it. Yesterday was actually the 10th anniversary of the release, and I don't know, it seemed very fitting because, I don't know, there's just like, Mama, there's a girl behind you. Mama, a girl behind you, you know? But yeah, I am obsessed with Jack Wolfe. I have been obsessed with Jack Wolfe ever since he was announced as Willen. I never know how to say his name. I will never know, even though I know, you know. Ever I have been obsessed with him ever since then. Very recently, they have starred in two of my newly favorite musicals ever. Well, one of them newly, which is Next to Normal and Hadestown. It's gonna be very embarrassing if it's not even in frame, but I think it's in frame. I also on my shelves have King of Scars and Rule of Rules, and because I've never read those, I was thinking maybe Six of Crows can get me in the spirit of finally getting to those books. So maybe I'll read actually all four of those. We will see, but this is mostly supposed to be focused on Six of Crows. Rip me apart, but I'll take you along the ride. Take it along the ride. What I'm hoping this video mostly does is create a space for fans to mourn. Even though there are no mourners, no funerals, no mourners, no mourners, no funerals, no. Anyway, even though that's literally the point of the fandom, I wanted to create a little bit of space for fans to come together and fangirl some more, because it's been 10 years. And while I didn't read the books 10 years ago, I did read them a while ago, so let's do the reading and let's do the crying together, shall we? And if throughout this video you ever feel like telling me a little bit of info or your feelings on the scene, please comment. I love reading the comments. And if you're new here, subscribe, it helps me a lot. Let's get into reading! I have 100 pages left. It's amazing how rereading these books makes me feel like back when I read them for the first time. It's that exact same feeling of excitedness and just love for these characters, and I think that's very special. It's like a week later. I just got back from vacation. It's time. Nothing like the hit of dopamine when you turn the page in, and it's a violent chapter. It is the next night. I had to stop last night because I kept on almost falling asleep. But let's continue. I'm like 200 pages through, so soon it's going to be time to cry. So I was actually just filming something else, and then I realized I never filmed an ending for my Six of Crows reading vlog. So here's that ending. Obviously this was never going to be like a review of sorts, because the fact that I'm rereading should be a review enough. A few things I would like to say. I think the Shadow and Bone trilogy gets way too much hate. That is just based on the fact that I've seen a lot of TikToks recently with people not liking them, which it's the OG story. You can't hate it if it's not your favorite. I understand, but it's being way too much. It's getting way too much hate. However, I do understand if this duology is your favorite. I obviously knew how great it was because I've already read it, but this was like my first time rereading it after, like, these were one of the very first books that I read when I first started reading, which was 6 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. And because I read like the Shadow and Bone trilogy and this in one sitting, basically, I kind of forgot a lot of things, and also generally very forgetful person. So rereads and rewatches, even though I tend to do them way too much, are important to me just because I need to remember the good things. It's gorgeous. It's always gorgeous, but the lighting is very much doing its justice right now. If you can tell by those last few clips, I think they were the last clips in here, I cried my heart out. I also thought that rereading these might give me the motivation to read King of Scars and Rule of Wolves, which I do want to do. And I think I did have to, because it's been like a month since I read these, if I'm being truthful. I've had a rough month. Also, I'm completely sidetracking now, but bear with me for a second. If you are a subscriber and you like my videos, first of all, thank you very much. Second of all, that seems so insincere, but I truly meant it. It means the world to me that you're here. I've had a rough month, and that's very much been visible in my uploading, because I try to be very consistent, because I miss consistent YouTubers. But the horrors, because this is sadly not my full-time job, which maybe one day. But the job that I did have was horrible, so that's fun. So I've been doing things. I thought I'd have the motivation to read King of Scars after this, and I did want to, but then I suddenly picked up the Vampire Lestat and kept on reading that, so that's what I'm currently reading, which just goes to show how little I read this month, last month. I am hopeful that I'll read King of Scars soon, because I want to be finally, I love reading it, but I want to be done with the Grishaverse, because I've also had Ninth House on my shelf for way too long and I haven't read it yet. But once I read that, I'll have to get Hellbent, so maybe I should keep off that, because I bought a lot of books recently. Anyway, Six of Crows. If you couldn't tell based on anything that I've said in this video, or maybe I already said it, I can't even remember. My favorite character is very obviously so Wylan and Nina Zenik. I remember when I first read this, Wylan immediately became my Roman Empire, no, I'm kidding, and became my favorite character just because I always relate to the most anxious person in a room, and that just might be him. Like the most anxious and awkward person. That sounded so weird, you know, but I always relate. And so I really love his character, and I really like his backstory. And also this is such an important video because I get so sidetracked. Because they released new editions of Six of Crows, and they changed parts of like very important details and took away the focus of them literally being tweeps. They're literally tweens. But as an adult reader, why would you do that? Them being teenagers is such an important part of the story because they're being put to that so much trauma and being abused, like poor Inesh. And they say it's a young woman. That's literally a 17-year-old girl. So I do think the rereading was very helpful in that way, because I read it before those pieces of info came out, so I was like very much on top of things. But yeah, Wine is my favorite character, was when I first read it. Then, and I always really liked Nina, but definitely during this reread I realized how much I love Nina and how relatable she is. Obviously I love all of the crows, like don't get me started on Inesh. Don't even, or on Jesper. Or on Cass, but I obviously love them all. But I want to tell you what my favorite characters, and that's Violet and Nina. And Nina obviously has my entire heart, and I can't even talk about Matthias because I will be crying. There's nothing to review. You know I like him, and if you're watching this, you probably like it too, because I did intend to make this video for Six of Crows fans, just for all of us to tweak out and cry and scream together, because I love them. There's another thing I want to mention, and it's fuck you, Netflix. Fuck you, Netflix. Fuck you for taking them away from us. They were casted perfectly. Not a single complaint from my side. I loved them to death. The cast means the world to me, and whenever I see a sad little edit of the cast, I want to die. And it would have been so fun to see more of the story and to have like the violin reveal and like so many things that we missed out on just because Netflix is a bitch. And because we're already here talking about Wyland, let's talk about Jack Wolfe. Because not only has he always been my favorite character, even before the cast was casted, he's also become my favorite actor. As someone already obsessed with Wyland, the second he got announced, I was like, yeah. And then when he started in the second season, absolutely obsessed with his portrayal, and ever since then I've been obsessed, and that obsession has been very much so reignited by me first of all watching Next to Normal and then him being cast as Orpheus. I'm going crazy. But yeah, I miss and love this cast. I'm just yapping. This is literally just a yap session about nothing, because obviously both of these are 5-star books. Always going to be sad about how little Wylan perspectives chapters there are, but that's a me issue. Cousin and Ash love story goes beyond and above. Vesper will always be one of my favorite ships. I also very recently saw a video of someone talking about King of Scars and mentioning that they didn't like Nina's story, which made me upset and kind of scared of reading it, but I'll read it anyway, hopefully. That's it. Please tell me what your favorite character is. Please tell me if you have a favorite scene, a favorite moment, a favorite cast moment, anything Six of Crows or Grishaverse related. If you would like to see me reread any other series or read any series generally that has a huge fan base, I'm your girl. If you haven't seen my previous videos, I also already read the Poppy War series, which I hadn't read before. I read Sunrise on the Reaping. I constantly reread Percy Jackson. But if there's anything else that I should absolutely read because of its fandom, I'm your girl, because I love being part of fandoms and like the lore and everything in between and shipping. Anyway, I hopefully, let me know if you want to have a video of me reading King of Scars and Will of Rules. And I also desperately want like the 2 special edition Grishaverse books, whatever they are. I keep on yapping even though there's nothing to say. Yeah, let me know if there's any other series. I'm open to anything except for romantasy, generally high fantasy, or any books that the author is very much cancelled for. So don't recommend me those. Why? I'm being very sassy today. Anyway, I love you loads. Stay healthy. If you're subscribed, thank you. If you're not, please do. It helps me a lot. And my end of the year goal was 1,000 followers. I'm not so certain anymore that we'll hit that. But even if we don't, I'm so grateful for the people that joined me this year. And let's see when we get to that point. Definitely have to plan a little something. Yeah. Liking and commenting and subscribing is the best you could do for me. So thank you. See you in the next one.